Hi everyone, so today I'm going to do a super quick demo on gessoing your canvas, and I'm going to use the small canvas that we are going to be using for our sphere exercise. So I've already taped 3 edges. When I gesso, I like to keep my edges sealed off. So the first step I usually do is I'm using frog tape. This is my favorite tape because it just has the best seal, but regular blue painter's tape can work too. That was loud. So basically, I've already taped 3 edges for the sake of time. So when you seal off your edges, you just want to kind of watch the edge of your canvas, getting it nice and straight along that edge, and then you can tuck the edges down. So as you can see, I have taped around all 4 edges of this little canvas. Reason being is for me personally, other painters don't mind, but I like to keep my edges clean. So when I'm all done with the painting, I can take off the tape and have just really nice clean edges. It's totally up to you though. So first step is taping the edges, and I like to run my finger just along every side just to make sure it's got a really good seal. And I have as you can see, a flat brush here. It's just a regular painting brush. There are special brushes used for gessoing. You could even use a foam brush if you want, but I prefer something just like a flat, not too large, for something this size. If you're going to be gessoing a large canvas, obviously you would use a bigger brush. I have water because anytime you're using acrylic-based mediums, you want to have water close by, because as soon as you're done, you just want to stick your brush in the water so it doesn't harden on your brush. I have a little gesso here, nothing fancy, and a takeout container lid. Some paper towels just in case I do something that I need a paper towel for. So basically, gesso is an acrylic base that seals your canvas so that when you're using a medium like oil paint, it doesn't seep through to the surface and leak. So you want to have a good layer in between. Now, most primed canvases you buy are ready to paint. So this already has a layer of gesso on it, which is why it's white and not the color. If you can see, the inside color of the canvas is more natural, kind of off-white color. And then once an acrylic base is applied, it's typically white. You can get clear gesso, black gesso, but white is the typical. So this is technically ready to paint on, but when you're working, sometimes, now again, some artists like the surface of the canvas, others want a more smooth surface. I personally like my surface to be a little more smooth, so when I'm blending, when I'm creating fine detail and things like that, I don't want to be fighting against the bumps of the canvas. So that is why applying a layer of gesso will add, it kind of fills in some of those holes that naturally occur in the fabric and will make for a smoother surface. So basically, you want to apply your gesso in a thin, even coat, typically going one direction the first time. You can switch up your direction the next time. And especially with this first coat, seal over the edge where the tape meets the canvas. So you can see here. So I'm kind of painting over that edge. So when it dries, there's a really nice seal in between the surface of the canvas and the edge of the tape, so your paint won't leak through to the canvas underneath, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to apply a super thin layer. The other useful thing about acrylic-based mediums is you can use a hair dryer to speed up drying time, which is what I'm going to do in between layers. So you just want to get a nice even layer on. You want to make sure you're not getting brush strokes or the kind of stripes that can occur from certain brushes. So make sure the brush you're using is a soft brush that has fine, even bristles, so you get a really nice coverage. Let me turn this around. So that is our first layer. I'm going to make sure these edges are really nice and sealed. And you can do as many layers as you want with your gesso. Or you can just add one extra. It is totally up to you. But I do recommend it just to smooth that surface so you have a nicer surface to paint on once you move to your actual oil paint. So here we have it. So as I have painted a nice, smooth, even layer coming around the edges, and then this is going to dry. And then after it dries, you can lightly sand and then do another layer. And then, like I said, as many layers as you want. But that's typically all it really takes to add gesso to a canvas.